Hello friends, welcome back, and for anyone who's new, welcome. Today you are finding me here in the woods of West Greenwich, Rhode Island, and this is a place that we often take the dogs to run in the morning. This is a trail that goes through the woods, and there are multiple places where it'll fork off, and so if there's somebody else here walking, we'll tend to go off on one of the forks. And we don't usually meet people, so we put the GPS collars on the dogs and we go running. But where I am now is actually one of my favorite spots of this hike, and it's actually not that far in, so I will come here sometimes just so I can bask in that breeze. So we've been going through a heat wave now for about at least a week now, and this spot here is in the woods, but it's this big rock formation, set up very high. Behind me you can see the skyline of the other parts of West Greenwich. And so this is it's just such a peaceful place. A lot of people come here just to hike because it's densely in the woods. There's not a lot of water, so mosquitoes aren't so bad, although I do bring my own homemade spray. And yeah, I just wanted to take you along and show you what I enjoy about taking this time to myself. I found lately with doing the bus renovation, I've been doing a lot more like what I do every day isn't very physically demanding. It may be like tiring because I'm like constantly moving and constantly doing things, but I'm not really lifting heavy things like I used to. So this past week with the remodel, it's been very strenuous on my body, and so I found that I've been waking up in the morning with a little bit of lower back pain, and that usually for me is an indication of like two things. It's not working, not like stretching out and moving properly within my vessel, being a little bit more strenuous than I'm used to, so I need to like stretch a little bit more, but also the movement of my body. And then also when it's in my back, it tends to be connected with the front here, which is like my sacral, and that's like listening to myself. So I always take that as an opportunity of me. I need to slow down. For me, that's walking into the woods, because this vessel that I have, while it can be used as a tool, it is not a tool. It's not I don't ever want to be at a place where I'm using this human body as a means to an end, a means to get me through place. It is a very sacred form that I've been able to live in, and so I want to honor it. And so when I start to feel these aches and these pains, it's not something that I ignore because I want to get to the finish line, because I can see it. I can see the bus almost being done. But it's an opportunity for me to slow down and give my vessel what it's looking for, which in this case is a walk in the woods. And to feel that beautiful breeze on my skin. So I'll show you just some of the beautiful places around here. You can enjoy it with me. I'm going to meditate like I did last time and just see where the energy takes me. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate all your support and all the new followers lately. Hello. I really enjoy sharing my life and inspiring others to do something new, because this whole life started with me doing something new. It started with me questioning, and then but if I can come out here in the woods with normal clothes, no shoes, you can do it too. And I want to inspire anyone to live a little more, believe in yourself a little more, know that our ant friends are, I have ants crawling on me. No one is here to, as they all work together, no one is here to save you. You are here to save you. And when I started following that principle in my life, so much changed. And it led me here today, talking to you. Remember who you are, friends. You know. Just as those aches and pains remind me, you have your own ways of knowing. You are light. We are all light. Even through all the different shades of colors around us, we get to shine the brightest. I love you. All of this is free. All of this is here for us to love and enjoy and find our center. This is my happy place. Anywhere outside where the wind can blow and the sun can shine. But even when there's clouds, I can still feel the warmth. This is something you really don't find everywhere else. Rhode Island specifically has quartz mixed in with all the rocks. The rocks leading up to the top of the vista are filled. So when it rains or it starts to break down, these pieces of quartz tumble down the hills, and you can just find it loose everywhere. I mean, it's so magical. Like all good places in the country, it's where the kids go to hang out. So when you are barefoot, be careful for the broken glass. They even have ropes on the climb up, in case it's rainy or you need assistance. Let's talk just a little more seriously here for a second. The world around us is changing at a very rapid pace. It doesn't matter what ends of this globe that you live on, what spectrum of reality that you find yourself in. I think it's changing for everyone. And while for a long time I tried to control those changes and I held on very tightly to me being able to be the one to dictate them for a very long time, the last few years I've been learning to really let that control go. And when I find myself, for me, when I feel these things in my body, it's an indication to me that I'm taking on too much. Because as we take on too much energetically around us, density forms in our body, and density shows itself in discomfort and in pain. And the best advice that I can give you that has worked for me, that has gotten me to this place of someone who formerly had chronic anxiety and panic disorder, bouts of very severe depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of mind streams. When I find myself I don't find myself anywhere near those places any longer, but that came from me finding myself feeling those ways and separating myself from whatever situation I was in that made me feel that way. Whether it was a family party or a night out with coworkers or a fire with friends, if there were ever times where I'm not feeling comfortable or I just don't feel, for me, I feel it in my stomach or I feel it in my head. If I feel discomfort in any one of those places, I just left. And that alone has helped to really solidify my next pathway on this journey, which is then once I took a step away, that didn't solve it. I still needed to dispel those feelings, or those feelings need to go somewhere. I needed to reflect on them. And that's where nature comes in. That's where these trees come in, and the sunshine, and the water. And that's why when I go hiking, I never have any shoes on, because by doing this and being so connected, I'm able to release a lot of those feelings. Sometimes I understand them as I'm releasing them. Sometimes my brain goes, oh, you did this and this happened and here's the connection point. It's connected to this childhood thing, or it's connected to this past life thing, or whatever it is. But even with those realizations, they're still not in this present moment. And so now I have realized it. I've let those thoughts flow through my mind, and then I release them. Depending on how they feel, sometimes I release them to the earth, sometimes I release them to the ethers. And by doing that, it helps clear this density, and so that I can start moving again and get back to creating. Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to create lives that are so beautiful. This brain here, the one that runs on anxiety, it can't comprehend the beauty that we will create. Release those things that no longer serve you. Release those things that don't aid to the growth of your soul. And then start creating. And when you feel lost or confused, get out here. She'll tell you what to do. And by she, I mean you. I mean being in nature helps you remember. It clears away all the distractions and the distortion. I never bring a phone. I never bring anything but my camera. And most of the time, I don't even bring that. That's all you need, my friend. We're here to remember. Keep watching and remember with me. I love you.